Welcome to another episode of Mayberry Memories. My name is Dave Sundstrom, and I'm here with my brother Steve, and we are going to talk about an episode from season 1. It's episode 17, titled Alcohol and Old Lace. Original air date was January 30th, 1961. And this one has an IMDb rating of 8.5 out of 10. Steve, you want to go ahead and give us a little bit of a summary on the plot?
Hilarious episode dealing with the fact that Mayberry is a dry county that they're in, so there's not supposed to be any alcohol. And it starts out with Sheriff Taylor's in getting his haircut from Floyd, the barber. There's some comedy there with some joking around about how Floyd seldom gets his hair, the sides even and straight. That part's always funny. Floyd's great, that we've talked about in the past. But Barney comes rushing in saying that he's found the location of a steal. And so they're going to go bust it up. And as they head out of Floyd's barbershop, two sweet little old ladies are walking up to talk to the sheriff to let him know that they know where there's a steal. And their location differs from what Barney's going to tell him, or has said. And Barney disagrees, and Andy Taylor says, they've seen the steal they're talking about. Have you seen the one you're talking about? And Barney says no. And this is funny. They get up there, and of course, there's a resident of Mayberry up there in the woods with his steal, and they shout out to him, and he fires off a shot in return with his gun. And then once he realizes it's the sheriff, he calls him on over because they're buddies. And they say, hey, we're going to have to arrest you. He says, well, I thought it was just a federal law, not a city law. And so they arrest him, and that guy's funny. And the actor that plays that guy that's making the moonshine is Jack Prince, who later on appears in multiple episodes of the Andy Griffith Show, and most commonly referred to later on as Rafe Hollister, I think. But he's great in this, and so they go in and put him in jail. Sure enough, these two sisters show up again to report another steal. And so Andy and Barney go and arrest that gentleman that's making moonshine, put him in jail. As we know, good old Hal Smith, Otis, town drunk, has to find his alcohol somewhere. So he goes to these little old ladies that are selling moonshine. Of course, they say they're only selling it for special occasions.
Yeah, like Panama Canal Day.
Panama Canal Day, Potato Week, National Potato Week.
Yep.
And so everybody has, of course, a reason why it's a special occasion. So they're selling them the moonshine. And Otis gets drunk. And what does Otis do when he's drunk, Dave?
He puts himself in jail.
Puts himself in jail, of course. So, of course, Barney and Andy have to figure out where he's getting the liquor. And I don't know if they would have figured it out other than Opie goes to those ladies' yard to get some flowers.
Yeah.
And when he's doing that, brings them back in a bottle that, of course, smells heavily of alcohol. And that's how Andy and Barney figure out who's really doing the moonshining. It's two little old ladies.
Yeah, I think Opie calls it he says something like, they got a flower making machine, Pa.
Flower making machine, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a summary of it. They go up and have the conversation with these two little ladies, and they act like they didn't know they were actually moonshining, but they did. Of course they did.
Of course they did. Of course they did. They were just finding a way, as we all do as human beings, to rationalize their behavior.
Yes. Interestingly enough, they didn't get put in the slammer like the other two.
They did not.
Right.
Andy was quite lenient with the ladies, but he did instruct Barney to go ahead and destroy the steal.
Pow, pow.
Yep.
And that's what we done. Took a great big axe and pow, pow, pow.
And of course, Don Knotts is hilarious in this episode, as always, right?
Yes. I think this is maybe one of the only episodes where we actually see Don Knotts in character as Barney Fife drunk.
Just a little bit right at the end when he's eating the jam, the preserve.
Yes, the jam that the ladies bring him.
Yeah, pretty funny. It's a great episode. I can see why it's rated as highly as it is on IMDb.
Yeah.
I think they're all great episodes. There's a reason why the show has held up over the years. Why it's fun talking about the episodes with you on this channel.
Jennifer and Clarabelle Morrison, they are a hoot. These ladies are a lot of fun. And there's no doubt this is a play on arsenic and old lace. But instead of murder, you've got bootlegging. And they are so much fun. You take that along with the wonderful cast of characters that you encounter in Mayberry, North Carolina, Otis, and that scene where they're trying to shake him down with information. He tells Andy and Barney that it's a matter of ethics, I think is what he says. He
That's
says something
exactly
like,
what he says. It's
us
a matter of
town drunks have a code we live by. Just a great scene, and just a lot of fun in titling this episode Alcohol and Old Lace. There really were a lot of tie-ins, just kind of little Easter eggs for the movie Arsenic and Old Lace. And before it was a movie even, it was a Broadway play.
Well, I think it was a favorite of Mom's.
Oh, I know it was. Because who starred in Arsenic and Old Lace? Do you remember?
Cary Grant, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And anything with Cary Grant, she was huge on.
Right. So I think I've seen it, but it's been forever since I've seen it. So I need to go back and watch that movie.
Yes.
Because I'm sure it's great.
There's some recurring themes in this episode that we just see over and over, right? Don Knotts playing Barney Fife. Just the zealousness with everything he does, and his ineptitude in terms of just being there, but sometimes you wonder, really, is he there? Does he understand what's always going on? You mentioned that scene at the first where he's certain he knows where Still is, and yet we've got these two Morrison sisters who are telling Andy they know exactly where it is because they've seen it. And yet Barney still wants to go track down this Still that he knows where it's at when he hasn't seen it. We see this over and over in the Andy Griffith Show. You got Barney's overzealousness, his ineptitude, and you've got Andy's intuition and his understanding of the way human nature works, right? That's what makes he and Barney such great partners as lawmen in Mayberry, but it's also what makes Andy such a great lawman. His approach to law enforcement, not just in this episode, but in numerous episodes, he's lenient, right? It's about rehabilitation and teaching lessons. And that's one of the things that makes the Andy Griffith Show so fun, is this message of we make mistakes. We all make mistakes, and we don't have to go down the river or spend serious time in jail because of them. When you have a lawman like Andy Griffith, or I should say Andy Taylor, who is going to see the best in people no matter what they do, even if they are not only selling moonshine, but getting other people in trouble so that they can corner the market.
And there's the scene at the end when Barney's smashing up the ladies Still, and the alcohol's shooting everywhere. And Andy's, he brings himself down, he humanizes himself with the other residents of Mayberry, and he opens up his mouth and lets the alcohol shoot in. He keeps grabbing sips of it. And he says something like, I deserve a drink every once in a while. The other thing with Barney that's funny is his desire to be respected within the town.
Right.
And the way that the residents, Otis and others, they just do not respect his authority.
That's true. Hey, who's that I hear in the background there? Is that Maggie? Does she want to be on the show too?
That's Maggie barking to somebody out the front door. We've talked about this before too, but Ron Howard as Opie, little Opie Cunningham. Opie Taylor, he's so good in these early episodes. He's such a talented kid.
Yeah.
And he was great in this episode too. He wasn't in it a lot, but the episodes he's in from the get-go, he's great.
Yeah. Those Howard boys, they just had natural screen presence.
They really did. They really did.
Hey, Barn, want to watch Opie cross-examine me? He's been practicing.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay, go ahead, Ope.
Now, Sheriff Taylor, did you not say that Post Toasties have the cornflakes crackling with fresh corn flavor?
Well...
Answer yes or no, please.
Yes.
And didn't you say that from field to flake, Post Toasties never lose their fresh corn flavor? Yes or no?
Yes.
That they're quick toasted to capture that fresh corn flavor. That they're so light and crisp they just about float into your bowl?
Yes, yes, yes.
No further questions.
That's pretty good, Hope. You want him to practice law, huh?
No, I want him to practice selling Post Toasties. Start your day a little bit better with Post Toasties. They're good.
Yeah, no, this is a favorite. I like it a lot. I don't know if I would say it is my favorite. I'll circle back. I've said it before. I think the Christmas episode from the first season, by far my favorite. But there's so many great episodes. But this one's up there. It's great, and I love it.
Yeah, it's not in my top 5, maybe not even in my top 10. There's just that many episodes that really resonate with me for different reasons. But it is just consistently funny. That's what the Andy Griffith Show is, particularly the first 5 seasons. You could turn on any episode and it's just going to be a comforting good time. And this one certainly fits the bill as well.
Yeah, and you talk about a comforting good time. So one of the things I love about this show is life is hard in current times, but you can escape to Mayberry. And you're always going to feel good.
Yep. Get away from the chaos, even if it is for just 30 minutes.
That's right. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for joining me today, Steve. I love it when we get a chance to get together and talk, even if it's for just a few minutes, about Andy Griffith. I know that you're thinking about doing something maybe with Twilight Zone and Leave It to Beaver over on your channel. Folks, if you haven't, you need to check out this guy's channel. There we go. This guy, his channel, because he talks about a lot of the same shows that I do. And to everybody that joined Steve and I today, whenever it is that you're watching this, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with us for a few minutes and escape the chaos of the modern world and reminisce about the Andy Griffith Show.
You didn't have to do it, but you did. So thank you very much for your support, for your support, for your support. Thank you very much for your support.
Click on that thumbnail cause it's time to go. Dave's got the classics, let the memories flow. TV shows and movies that we all hold so dear. On his YouTube channel he's keeping memories near. Dave Sundstrom, bringing back the good stuff, oh yeah.